Good morning, everybody. Okay, welcome to our open webinar with the topic Boost Up Your Workflow with Metaroom. My name is Ariane Ignazak, and I'm the trainer and lighting designer here at the DIAL Academy in Germany. And I'm your host today, but we have also two more speakers that are Martin and Henrik from Metaroom. So good morning, nice to have you here. And so I think they will introduce themselves in a few seconds. But before we start, I would like to give you a short overview about the content of this webinar. So this webinar will take around about 1 hour. We will start with a presentation from Henrik and Martin. And then I will continue with the workflow directly in DIALux, so how it goes there. And then we have finally a Q&A session, so you can write us your questions directly, please, here in the Q&A section. So please don't use the chat, is it possible? We have here separately the Q&A section, that's the known button. And at last, I would give you a hint about the trial version, so you can test both programs. And I think another important information is here at this time that we will record this webinar and we'll publish this later. So it's no problem for you to have a look on afterwards on that. Okay, so I think that's the short introduction from my side. I will hand over to Martin and Henrik. They can introduce themselves and start with the presentation and demonstration, and we will see us then later in the part for DIALux EVO.
Thank you very much. Hello and welcome from beautiful Salzburg. We used to have a bit of snow yesterday, which we can't show at the moment. But as you might know, the Austrian winter is coming. We are sitting here in our office, and first of all, I would like to thank you, Ariane, for the nice introduction and for having the chance to show what we are doing. And to all the participants, hello and welcome. Nice that you followed our invitation. My name is Henrik. I'm responsible for all sales activities when it comes to Metaroom. And I brought someone with me today, as you might have seen. I'm actually Martin's wingman today, and not the other way around. Martin, please introduce yourself, I would say.
Yeah, thank you, Ariane. Thank you, Henrik, for the introduction. My name is Martin Huber. I'm co-founder and CEO here at Metaroom by Amrex. Also, for me, it's a pleasure to host you today here and show you a little bit more about our solution.
By now, you should see our screen, hopefully. What we are going to jump into directly is our little agenda. So basically, there are a few points we're going to pinpoint for you. First of all, and the most interesting thing for you is, I guess, who we are.
Thank you, Henrik. We already mentioned who is in the call, but we also want to show you a little bit about our company. So who is doing all of the stuff we are showing you here today. Then we go into the challenges that lighting planners and electric planners do experience today. Afterwards, we are going into a how-to. That's more kind of a live demo. We show a video of a scan and also how we can prepare this scan. We go then into the platform to enhance the scan. And in the last section, we are going into best practice to show you a little bit what we have learned here doing 5 years 3D scanning with our customers. So what's Metaroom? Yeah, first of all, Metaroom is a company. We are sitting here a little bit south of Salzburg. Actually, Henrik mentioned it. The picture is not one-to-one because there is a little bit of snow already on the mountains, and we are sitting here a little bit south of the city. We are employing 25 people here with strong R&D and also operations. So let's jump into the solution. The most important part is here on the right side. You can already see our two components. The first component is running on Apple Pro devices. It's the Metaroom Scan app. And the second component is running in the browser. You can see it in the background. It's the Metaroom web app to enhance and optimize your scanned data. Now, let's take a look a little bit at the challenges we hear and experience from people using our solution. So what we can see today is that a lot of measuring on the field is done manually. So we have here the manual processes going on with the ruler. Sometimes we also see laser, industry equipment, but that's, I would say, quite rare. I would say in more than 95% of the cases, our competition is the manual ruler. And then, of course, if this is performed, then also afterwards, you have to create a 3D model. So a second thing is that typically the person that is doing the measurement and the person that is doing then the work inside the company are not always the same natural person. So what happens there is that person one is doing all of the measurements, sending this to the in-house department, but then a question pops up, like, is there an element on the ceiling that I have to respect in my planning? And then this question goes back to person one. And then this circle of problems.
The devil's circle, we call it.
It's starting, and it consumes a lot of time. And that's exactly what our solution should save for all of you and all of us. We save time. That's our major USP. And that's exactly why we presented this product a year ago. So let's take a little bit deeper look into the first component. That's typically also the component where the customer journey is starting. So people download the app and they start scanning. You can see here some KPIs about it and some impressions. We will dig into scanning in the next section of the webinar in more detail. This is just a quick overview. You can see here some KPIs like 500 square meters in 20 minutes. The measurement accuracy is at 1% deviation. And you can digitize complete buildings. This means not only a single room, but multiple rooms and even multiple floors. Then the second component or second step is here our Metaroom platform, which is an AI-supported tool that gives you the possibility to enhance the scans you have done with even more objects. And we will also take a deeper look at this in the live demo soon. Now over to you, Henrik.
Great, thank you. So basically what we brought with us is a bit, is a little live demo which we recorded basically yesterday. We are actually starting in the room we are sitting right now. What we are going to show you right now is how the app works when it comes to not only having a single room, as Martin just mentioned, but maybe more rooms and even the hallway, and how the app works and putting everything together afterwards. So what we are doing, we are initiating a scan, starting it in one of the, let's say, corners of the room. What you see now, the app from the beginning really tells you what to do. What we see here now is basically that those white lines will appear. That shows you that the scan is initiated. And even if a corner like that, where you see there is a table, there is there's some stuff on the floor, even then the app is capable of getting all the corners and measurements behind all those obstacles, I would say. So it's really easy to start off the scan, starting it, and at least start to walk around the room, I would say in 360 degrees. What you see here now is that the app is able to capture 16 different object classes as of today, which is tables, chairs, windows, doors, cabinets, kitchens, fridges. But still there are some objects which can't be detected at the moment. But there we found a solution to help the user a little bit. So basically what you see here, we already walked 360 degrees through the room, and are mostly done with the room itself. What you see down here is a first insight of the 3D model you're gonna get. This is not the final model. It's just there to keep you posted and updated of what you already captured and what not. So what we see now, what we are doing now, you might see that little green cross here in the middle of the screen, which belongs together to the snapshot button. So basically what we are doing now, we would like to capture the luminaires on the ceiling. The luminaires itself won't be detected by the app itself. So basically, as I said before, we're gonna try to fix those coordinates in the scan, and later on we will be able to work on those coordinates on the platform. So what you see now, we are aiming with that green cross on the luminaire, hitting the snapshot button, and we get the feedback of those green cards up here that we saved those coordinates in the scan. In this case, we decided that all luminaires should be green, or set with green markers. We are able to give you different colors. So the smoke detector, for example, is going to get the yellow color, and the radiators or the heaters here will get the blue colors, just to already here differentiate all different objects, which makes it easier to work with it on the platform itself later. So basically what we have done now, we have scanned the whole room. We are done with our room here. And we're going to get a first overview or a second overview here about the room if everything is correct. And there is 3 options we're going to have now. From here we could say, okay, we just only needed that one room for our light calculation. Then we would finish the scan, send it directly into the cloud where it's going to be reconstructed, and you might have a fully remodeled 3D model in about, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes, which would be able to be transferred to DIALux directly. But in this case, we are deciding to do another section, which means from here we are going to the office right next to us, and then we're gonna hit the Add Section button and gonna add another section, as the button says. So we are running quite quickly through this office as well, and the app will recognize that those 2 offices are right next to each other, and in the reconstruction it will set it together in the right dimensions. We are running through here quite quickly just to get the second room. As you can see, it captures everything pretty fast. We're gonna hit the finish button, and what you see now is that those 2 rooms are already set together in the preview here, and you will see that the last section you scanned will appear in that light pinkish color, just to give you a hint of, okay, this is the last section I scanned, and all other sections will stay in gray in this case. From here, we decided to scan another section. So what we are doing now, we are going out in the hallway and scan the hallway and the open kitchen as well, which is the 3rd section in this case. What you will see in a few seconds is a big round column in the middle of the room. On top of that, you see that there is no white lines appearing around this column, which gives you the hint of, okay, that object is not detected. In a few seconds, we will set a snapshot here as well to rework it later in or on the Metaroom platform as well. I think in a few seconds we're going to turn around and point at the column.
You know everything, huh?
Yeah. There it is.
What happens?
Okay, so we are pointing out, giving it the orange color to differentiate it, and then we are going to go in the kitchen and where we point out the radiators and stuff on top of that. So a question which might be arising in your case is, how do I know how many square meters one section can take? This is something we implemented as well to give you another, I'm missing the right English word, Hilfestellung. Assistance, exactly. So basically, the app is gonna tell you if one of the segments is gonna get too large. In a few seconds, we're gonna run down the hallway, and then you will see there's a little pop-up window telling you this section has is going close to have too much data. Please stop here and add another section. So in every case, you have assistance the whole workflow through. And yeah, there's not too many space for failures actually. So what will happen now, it's going to show, okay, this section has too much data right now. You're going to finish, or you have to finish soon and start another section from where you are standing, more or less, to get the whole hallway in the next steps. So what we are doing now, we are going back to where we started this section and closing it down there. In a few seconds, this is going to happen now. And then you will get the whole overview of all the 3 segments we just scanned. There we go. What you can see from here is that everything has been calculated already. And from here, again, there is 3 options. We could add another section. We could rescan if we see there is something missing, like cabinets or whatever. So there's always the possibility to go back in one of the rooms or even in the hallway and either rescan something or add another section and just overscan it one more time, because the old data will be overwritten then. We are done with our scan now, so we are finishing it from here, hitting the finish button. Have a look at the snapshots we did. Maybe change the color if we did something wrong. And then we're going to send it directly to the cloud to be recreated, basically. First of all, we're going to give it a name, of course. And from here, we are jumping over to the platform.
Thank you, Henrik. So you have seen here in the last picture of the app that this was a grayscale, kind of a simplified model. And then we send it to the cloud, and here it is then recreated in a much better way. And how this looks like, we are seeing here in our platform. So the platform is running in every browser. So just type in studio.amrex.ai and log in with the same credentials you used in the app, and you will see all of your scans also here in this second platform. Let's open the scan we have done and let's take a look at it. And everything you see here has been recreated fully automatically without any manual work involved after 1 or 2 minutes. So we can see here now the scan again. Also, we have a toolbar on the top. This toolbar allows us to do basic measurements like meters and square meters. It allows us to show and hide the snapshots we've done. We've seen Henrik in the video created some of them. We can activate the scan path. The scan path is kind of an automated way to access basically automatically generated snapshots. We will take a look at this soon. We can activate and deactivate assets, and we can activate and deactivate textures. So here we can see now the simplified model, including wall thickness. Now, before we hand this over to Ariane to do some light design on this, we want to include the luminaires. And here we can see this is the reason why Henrik did these snapshots in the room. We can just click on these snapshots, and now we have here a new function that allows us to add the luminaires to the scan. We just use the box creation tool and we click with this magic pen on the ceiling, and we can already see the luminaire here was recreated. And we call this luminaire Luminaire 1. And we save it to the 3D scene. We do this also for a second one. And we name this Luminaire 2. We go here and we add the third luminaire.
I think it's interesting to say here what you see, because as you can see, we did set the snapshot from, I would say, we were not standing directly beneath or under the luminaire, but even then we would be able to recreate objects even if we are a bit further away. So You don't have to be 100% accurate. As soon as you did snapshots, you might be able to create every object out of this snapshot afterwards again. So what we see here is that Martin recreated those 4 luminaires basically in 5 clicks.
Exactly. So these luminaires are now 3D objects, and they can also be transported to DIALux, which I think is pretty amazing because we not only have all of the room geometry, the colors and the assets, but we also have the ceiling elements. And this can be done not only for luminaires, but also for complex geometry, for something like this maintenance entry here, or a smoke detector, or any object you can think of. Before we hand over this to Ariane again, let me quickly show you how to export it.
I think there's one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the rooms. I mean, what you see on the left here is basically that you get a whole model tree with the 3D recreation or reconstruction. So everything what the AI detected will gonna show up here. The AI detects rooms which you could rename, you could add nodes to it. You would from last week on already be able to add some nodes to your snapshots already while scanning. So you can add all the data you have for your object already here and transmit it to DIALux afterwards.
Perfect addition, thank you. So if we then move on to DIALux soon, we can just click here on the Export Project button, and we choose DIALux, and we just click on Export. We can still define here the level of detail. We want to have the complete model or the room geometry only. And this is exactly what we will hand over then to Ariane. Before we do this, let me show you 2 more slides about the scan practice. And I will switch back here to my PowerPoint again. So before you scan a building or a room, you should go through and check some basic things. So first one is, the more light you have, the better. This means turn on all artificial lights and remove all the shadings in the room. The second is, and this happens to me all the time, that camera lens is a little bit dirty, so clean the camera lens. This gives you way better results. Move the device slow. I mean, it also gives you feedback on the go, but still very fast movements can lead to tracking problems. And between 2 scan sections, Henrik has shown this, doing 3 scan sections. Between these sections, don't cover the camera, so we can always allow the app to have basically the tracking online. Keep the app in the foreground when you do big uploads. The app is basically also working in airplane mode and will try to upload it as soon as it has internet again. That's the one.
There we go.
There we added. And that's the very last slide here. So this is a customer case from Switzerland in Lausanne. It's the university clinic with more than 500 rooms and more than 15,000 square meters. And this was done by a light planner in Switzerland, one of our customers. And they saved 220 hours by using our app. And yeah, that's from here, our side in Salzburg. Let's hand it back over to Ariane in Lüdenscheid.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's a big benefit to save time. And yeah, I will go forward with the workflow. So what is when I want to use now this 3D model and all the information? So I logged also in and get the information about your notices and snapshots. That was very good. And first, I want to show with an DDS-CAD viewer how this IC file looks like. So let me check it. It should be there. I hope that I can here import it directly. So there it is, so that you can see what is in this file. On the left side, I can hide here the ceiling, but we can look in the rooms. So and now you see the information. Yeah, where were some snapshots, but here in this room, the luminaires too. And yeah, when I go here, this is the best information that we are using, or this content also from the IFC files, is that there are the spaces, and that is like the same structure than in DIALux EVO. And here we can see the both rooms, which I want to show in more detail than in DIALux. So the meeting room and the social media room here with this 4 snapshots and objects like the luminaires here. So I can open it, and then we get the information here with this 4 luminaires. Okay, so I will show you now the import function in DIALux. So I have started it. And one hint, so you have seen it, it is now the DIALux EVO version 13. And I have here the Pro version, so I can use the import button here for IFC files. And that I want to show now. So I can make here drag and drop. So it's like the import button. And then DIALux will show me the assistant for the import. You see now here the same structure in this file. We have the spaces and all the other elements. You can decide what you want to import, but I think at the moment it's the best case here to import everything to see what will happen. Then we have here this settings for the imports, but I would recommend the new method too, because that's working in the better way. So more details you find in the DIALux community on that when you are interested in that. And now, we have here this import, so it's very fast. I will change the view into the 3D view, and you can see that we have now the whole building. And I can go into the story view, and we can see all the things and rooms and objects which were scanned. And I will show you some information here in the construction mode. So because I think that's an advantage too. For example, here in the site, we get directly the information here where the project is located. So that is here the right situation. And for example, the spaces that we can click in one room and get more details, like the name of the room. We have this possibility to check all utilization profiles and think about our working plans when we want to do this lighting design on a room base, for example, and decide here for each room the maintenance factors too. In the other mode here, story and building construction, for example, you get automatically your story height and can go forward with the lighting design. But Martin said, you can use the colors and materials. So for example, we can check it and pick some materials, for example, here the wall in the social media room. And then we have here directly information about this reflection factors. I think that's good because we can decide if we want to use these reflection factors by default from the EN12464, for example, or if you want to use this here. So you can decide this when you import the IFC file at the beginning in the assistant. You can decide which material you want to use. So the standard reflection factors or the factors here from this project. So, and for me, it's a good information to get here all the details. And to go forward here with this room, I think in the 2D view, for example, so we have here this placeholders for the luminaires. So that's important to know. We have here the button for IFC models. And when I click, for example, here now on this luminaire, then you see it's not a luminaire. So it's only here an IFC object, but I get information like the name. And when I go then to all the snapshots and see the photos and notices, I get more information. What is that? So what is the type of this luminaire? And then I can go to the light mode and make my lighting design. So for example, I can open my luminaire list and search for a luminaire like this. So let me check it here. For example, this one, and place here an automatic arrangement. So I have directly my 4 luminaires. So it's a good lighting solution here. What is at the moment there, and when I want to maybe to do a renovation, then I can check it here. At the moment, I would get here, around about 640 lux. Maybe I can move my luminaires, and when I have done this, I can delete my objects. So it's an advantage in DIALux that you can delete IFC objects. That's possible here. Then I can delete the placeholders. And in future, it would be possible. So we are working on the idea that we can, directly can change here the placeholders into right luminaires. So then we have also a better workflow in future. Okay, for example, I can here show you the light visualization. So without calculation, we can see how is the light distribution at the moment, for example, maybe only for one luminaire. And then you can go forward with this project, go in more detail and make here the lighting design, maybe only here in the grayscale and normative proof. Or another solution can be, I have another project in more detail. So let's check it out here. And you can see I've done the lighting design for all rooms and decided that I want to check the working plane in some rooms, or here's the kitchen area. So I have seen that before on the snapshots and get the information. And can go forward with the perfect lighting design, for example, here, or only on some luminaires. So I can check this too. We have different possibilities for the export. So maybe after the calculation, we can export some files. I will show you before here the result overview too. So when you are calculating, you make your lighting design, then you get here directly the result overview. And at the moment, we have here some results for the working plane, but maybe I want to go in more detail here in this room, for example, and again, go to the calculation objects and use results on surface. Because it's at the moment calculated, I get directly more details when I click on a surface, for example, here this table in the meeting room, and then you see here directly the new result for the surface too. Okay, so I have used the benefit to import the 3D geometry from this whole story. Maybe add some furniture, some other information, or change one texture, but I have saved here the time and can concentrate on the lighting design here. And in the end, I would say maybe we want to make some views here and save this for the documentation or a presentation. In this case, we have here the social media room too. Can close my result overview that it looks more in detail here, like a picture, or we can ray trace some pictures. And I think it's very important to know, I can export the IFC file, but I want to make you here the hint that we have the possibility directly in DIALux to get the PDF file here for the customer with all pictures and lighting design details and the results too. And the IFC export works here under the export mode. And we have here the separate button that you can decide what you want to export. You have here the file types and version. And then you can click on export new file. And then it would be directly here exported. So I have done it before, but maybe I can say, I want to refresh it. So all luminaire informations were now then here in this file. So that's important. It's only the content for the luminaires. So I will not export the geometry once again. And that's the reason why I want to show this here with this IFC file from the story. So I can close it here and say now in this viewer that I want to add one IFC file. And let me check it here. So where it is, I save it here, I think. So in DIALux, or when you have exported one file from DIALux, you see now it is here called Loom context. So that means for the luminaires, this type, and then I can add it. And then you see now, yeah, I have the combination of the room geometry and the luminaires. And maybe to make it better clear, I can hide here this building, and then you see what is exported from DIALux, and you get all information. You have here in this viewer, for example, the properties to see the positioning information, the manufacturer, all details about this luminaire, and then you can go forward with the planning. So that is here this example. Okay, so that was my short presentation, how it goes forward with this in DIALux. And I would say then we can go in the next step to the Q&A. So I will change one page here in my presentation, because here you see we have our contact information. So you can write your questions to Henrik directly if you want, or to me. So when you use the Academy address, and then we can answer your questions also later. But I think Henrik will have checked the Q&A section, and I would like to hand over to you once again.
Thank you, Ariane. That was really interesting. We were overwhelmed by the good looking of the rooms, having implemented those wonderful pictures. Super nice. On the other hand, there's a lot of questions in the Q&A section, which we will start immediately now with, because it's going to take some time. We're going to start with the first questions, which said, could your solution be used outdoor?
Actually, good question. And typically, everything we do is trained on indoor data. So you could try to scan outdoor. We do have some experience with rooftops where there is a little bit of wall. The app always needs one wall and a floor. We also see people scanning outdoor stairs. But it's very experimental, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's built for indoor.
Exactly. Can you scan rooms that have sloping ceilings?
Yes, you can. So that's absolutely possible. Yeah.
That's a fast forward answer.
A yes or no one.
What is the cost? Is it cloud-based? How are we going to save our data? So basically, coming to the costs, feel free to take a look at our homepage on mrex.ai. We are fully transparent with all the costs. Or if you already have an existing Metaroom account, there is a pricing tab there as well, because we don't want to make it a selling webinar right now. So please take a look over there. Is it cloud-based?
Yes, it is. And also the third question is aligned to this. So all your data is saved in the cloud. Even if your subscription is stopped, then we save your data until you, as you own the data, delete it.
Exactly. I think a good addition here is coming back to the price points. I mean, we do offer two versions of subscriptions. It is a yearly subscription, and then there is a monthly subscription, because we saw that there are people who have not the use for the app maybe every month. So basically, you could just pay for 1 month, jump off again, and your account will stay there.
Yeah.
And if you see that in 3 months from now you're going to have some project, then you're just able to activate your account, and you will find all your data, and you always will be able to go into your account and look at least at what you scanned.
And by the way, you can always scan, and you have always access to the platform. The only thing that is connected to the subscription is the export function.
And the sharing function.
And the sharing function. Thanks.
Is this tool only for iOS devices?
Yes, it is. It is for iOS devices and Apple iPhone Pro and Apple iPad Pro devices only. It works from iPhone Pro 12 upwards and from iPad Pro built from 2020 and later upwards because we use this LiDAR sensor. It's here on the back side.
I'm gonna try to show it into the camera. What you see is the 3 cameras down here, and maybe you might see a little spot beneath the camera over there. This is where the LiDAR sensor is placed.
And this sensor gives us the robustness that you always get good results in depth measurement. So that's the reason. There is simply not a phone in the Android ecosystem that has this sensor. So that's the reason why we are building this only for iOS. It's also for us, it's more of a pain. So it's not a decision, it's more of a pain, I would say.
It's not that we only love Apple, it's just that they have the best tech stack,
yes,
which we can build on top of.
The best sensors.
We would love to have Android using this as well. So let's put some pressure on Android, all of us together. Maybe.
Right, Google.
Right, Google. Can you scan single and double curved surfaces, walls and ceilings?
Well, so basically, to make it short here is it's not possible. We are working on curved surfaces. What will happen when you scan a curved surfaces that we will rebuild it with straight segments. So the room will be completed, but the curve will not be represented as a curve. This is something we are working on.
Yeah, I think what we have to mention here as well, that it's not only us having those curved or round object problems. It's basically every laser scan, I would say, who has the same problems with round or curved objects. But yeah, as Martin just mentioned, the team is working on that, and at some point we're gonna have a solution.
I think it's a very good point to connect to another question I've seen around editing in DIALux. And yeah, not to put any pressure on any development, we are thinking of allowing to edit scans inside third-party software as DIALux to optimize these things in a later step.
Great. So this app will be used for existing interior or buildings. How about if the project is in the design development phase and the interior or building is not yet constructed?
I mean, if there is an IFC file already in the planning phase, then of course you can also import this to DIALux, but then our product is not in the loop. So bad for us, good for you. But still, we are, and this is exactly, I think, what you mentioned here in the question too, we are only in the renovation and in the existing building space.
If a room is not square, will the scan capture this?
Yes, that's possible. So angled walls, angled ceilings, sloped ceilings, all of this is possible.
Will the software gather data without internet connection? I think we answered that already. It is possible to scan in flight mode. Like me coming from Germany, where we basically are a third world country when it comes to Wi-Fi connection and good connection, we really need that over here. So basically, if you have a really bad connection or no existing connection, people working with iPads where you have no SIM card integrated or no Wi-Fi, it is possible. Please try always, if you have a bad connection or no connection, to go in flight mode directly, because the app is running super smooth. And as soon as you're going to have Wi-Fi or connection, just open the app again and it will start the upload of all projects automatically.
Yep.
Is a gimbal helpful during the scan? I would say no. What do you say?
I would say it doesn't hurt. We did some tests with this and we didn't experience, it was not measurable. I would say if you have one, you can use it, but we don't officially tell people to use it.
Yeah.
I think that's the situation.
I guess so. I think to just tell it to everyone who maybe doesn't know gimbal, basically it's a device where you put your phone and it's going to stabilize like the phone, right? I tried it twice and trying to use it in rooms and setting snapshots and stuff, I like it better to have it in my hands because you have the full control instead of having the gimbal and like working back and forth. I mean, feel free to try if you have really good experience. Let us know. Maybe we are missing something here. But yeah, as Martin mentioned, to make it short, it doesn't hurt. Is it available for both iOS and Android devices? We already answered that. Is this limited to DIALux full version, paid version? Ariane, I think I would like throw the ball over to you because you are way more into your product than I am before I tell something which is not right in the end.
Yes, it's limited. So you need the DIALux Pro version to use the IFC import. Yeah, that's here in the OpenBIM context, and there we need the Pro version. Yeah, maybe at this time I can go to the second slide here. So you can test it if you want. No? So there's a little difference how you can find it. So when you start DIALux EVO, then in the start screen, this import button is locked. And when you click on it, then you get a hint and you can check it out that you use the trial version. So we offer you there the testing about 30 days. And yeah, for Metaroom, it is on the website. You can start also here the trial version and test it. I think it is around, it was 10 days also. I can go back to you. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Ariane. We lost that somehow. Yeah. If you want to try Metaroom, it is you're gonna find a 10 days trial version on top of that as well.
Yes.
Where you can scan as much as you want and export as much as you want and shoot in basically in every direction.
Yes.
Yeah. Feel free to make use of that. Okay. Thank you, Ariane. Let's go to the next question. Does the scan work on rooms with high ceilings like gyms or warehouses?
Oh, that's a funny one. I actually scanned the gym last week. I'm not so often in the gym, but yeah, you are. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
you don't have to tell people. We see it. Yeah, the scan distance is based on 5 meters sensor distance plus yourself. So basically, if you are large as Henrik, you will make 2 meters plus the 5 meters, so you can scan a ceiling height at 7 meters. So everything that is more far away than 7 meters will be invisible for the app. I think that should answer here the high ceiling question. We do see people scanning rooms and warehouses with bigger ceilings, but just adding the ceiling in a later step.
Yeah, either in a later step. We saw some people using selfie sticks as well, because I mean, the most you can get is 10 meters basically. It's 5 meters in one direction, 5 meters in the other direction. If you have a kind of stairs where you can help yourself or a selfie stick. Yeah, but basically having it in your hand, it is around 7 meters, as Martin just mentioned, if you hold it on 2 meters height. Next one. Can you add the texture directly on DIALux from the scan?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's something we're working on. Yep, that's a very good question, very good input. And it's on the list on our backlog that is hopefully becoming smaller and smaller during next year when we are working on all of these features together with you.
Yeah, because the textures, as you saw, could be very helpful. Even if you're gonna recreate objects, you really see the texture of the object with the real measurements, and you can adapt your object to the texture. So that might be really helpful. I mean, this is something you can do in Metaroom Studio already.
Yeah, maybe to a very small addition, we are working here on an OpenBIM interface. That means we use IFC as data format, and OpenBIM doesn't provide today a way to transport textures. So we would have to leave this OpenBIM standard and build a separate interface for the textures. That was the reason why we didn't want to, break the standard, at least for now. So yeah, that's the reason why it's not there yet.
Then there's the next one, Ariane. I think this goes more in your direction. Is it possible to modify the architecture after importing?
Yeah, in this project, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's important to know. So you can't change any walls. So in this case, because that is here in the context for open BIM. So that so it is not possible to change it because too many people are working with this project. So that is fixed. But yeah, for example, yet when I go into construction, so you can modify windows or maybe you change it because we have in DIALux the standard windows, for example, you can change doors or you can add here columns and move them or DIALux objects here like furniture and so on. But the contour, the 3D geometry of the building, that is fixed.
Great. That was the first question. Next one is, when we put the luminaires into the rooms and finish the project, how can we change the architecture, import updated architecture IFC file, without losing luminaires arrangement?
Yeah, that is in this case here something in which or on which topic we are working here in at DIAL. So at the moment, it is the workflow that you export your Lumina data. Then you have to import a new actual IFC file in DIALux and have here at the moment maybe the combination that you have the placeholders here, like I have shown this in the DDS cut viewer, and you have to change it manually. But in future, it should be working that you can change the building and the luminaires are on the same position as before. But at the moment, it is not possible.
Yeah, I guess that goes in collaboration with the next question. Is it possible to swap automatically the IFC object to a luminaire?
No, at the moment not, but that's the next goal here for us.
On big project like the Lucerne University Hospital, the loading time can be too long. If we have a good GPU, will it be faster or not? I read somewhere that DIALux only uses the CPU.
I mean, maybe I can also jump in here for the first part. So when we generate data with the Metaroom solution, we generate it in a very simplified way. So the data, even if the building is large, the data itself is small because we do not represent tiny objects in high definition. So I would say that I've never experienced something like this here, seeing our interface now on the way for a couple of months. But what we see is that if IFC files are coming from architecture, and they have all of these detailed representations of all of the objects, like a plant, for example, like this plant here in the background in an IFC file, can be huge. And this can, of course, lead to problems in any software. And that's not exclusive to DIALux.
Next one.
Yeah, I saw one question. There was a question if the DDS cut viewer free, so which I have used here. Yes, that's a free software, so I can answer this directly. Yeah, so when you are interested in how the IFC file looks like, then you can use, for example, the DDS cut viewer, but there are many viewers possible, many free viewers.
Does it work with complicated architecture like historical church?
I would say today it's the correct answer would be that I think it's too challenging in terms of geometry for today, and we would not tell people to do it. But still, we do see these use cases coming up more and more, and we are working on more complex representation of geometry, especially when it comes to ceilings. So complex ceilings is something we are looking at very heavily right now. So give us a little bit more time. We are on it.
But what we saw from existing customers nowadays, because we had that question, of course, a lot of times already, is that they used us, let's say, for the basic room plan, and then in collaboration with the traditional way of using a laser on top of that to recreate the model somehow. So at least like having the basic floor plan when it comes to all the walls you have, like the straight normal walls, I would say it's pretty easy to capture that and pretty fast. Everything which is in detail on the ceiling and in the walls, has to be covered like by the old traditional way as of today.
Mm.
But it is a good collaboration. Yeah, I would say.
Kind of a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Can I change the size or position of windows in DIALux after import? Ariane, this goes over to you. She's nodding.
Yes, yeah, that is possible that you can change it. Yeah.
Then a really important one. How accurate is the scan in terms of measurement?
Yeah, we showed it in one of the slides. It's 1% if you have an actual iPhone Pro and basically good or okayish light conditions. So what does this mean in centimeters? So in this room here, we end up with round about 2 centimeters deviation from wall to wall.
Exactly. I mean, we it's always, you know, we always say it's in between like 1%, 2 centimeters. Thinking back to the days when we met DIALux for the first time in Lüdenscheid, we captured a room where we were off 1 millimeter only. I mean, there's, you know, it goes in both directions. And what it needs is a bit of experience in scanning, I would say. I mean, it's not that, you know, I would say if I would scan this room for the first time, it would be okayish. But if I'm going to scan this room 5 times in a row, the 5th time I would have the best result, because, you know, then I'm learning how to use the app really properly, like how to scan like cabinets from which angle and stuff. So there's a bit of a learning curve while scanning. Do you think you will be working on an outdoor version in the future? Super nice presentation. Thank you. Thank you for listening, Paula.
Yeah, thank you, Paula. Actually, there are no plans to go outdoor. I think it's connected a little bit to the sensor technology. We can see that distance is kind of not the problem, but the limitation. And if you go to outdoor, then obviously also sensor distance becomes more of a thing. So I think we're really strong in indoor, and stay to your strong abilities. Huh?
Exactly. Landscape areas with trees and shrubs will scan in similar way. It is scanning indoors. Nope. No outdoor scanning, unfortunately. Is that possible to calculate the sunlight? I think out of our perspective, no. In DIALux, maybe. Ariane will answer that in a few seconds. What we are transmitting is the north heating, or the north heading of an object. So you will have the north heading and even the position where the object is at.
Yes, GPS and
exactly. Ariane, now it goes back to you. Sorry for putting the pressure on you. If we transmit the north heading.
Yeah, it's I think that is something that we can work on. So when we import an IFC geometry with Windows, then and everything is okay there with the spaces. So it depends on the spaces in DIALux. Then you can do the daylight calculation, because we are simulating the daylight here. From the Windows. I saw in this example at the moment we cannot calculate the daylight, but I think then that we can work on it, because I have analyzed this with a colleague and found the reason in the construction of the space. And I think we can talk to each other here and discuss it, and then make the spaces in this scan then, or in this 3D geometry perfect, and then it's possible also here with the scan models. Yeah, I think that can be. Yeah. So at the moment, I found different IFC files where it doesn't work. So it's not only your scan, so no problem. But we are working on that to make the spaces tool perfect here in DIALux, so that you can do the daylight calculation which each project. Yeah.
Then there's another question which I don't get in the first moment. It's Louis asking, can we basically take Metaroom for general, or SCAM for general surveys? Louis, if you could define this a little bit more, like to give us an understanding of what exactly you mean, that would be nice. Either drop it down here in the Q&A, or just write an email to me.
Maybe it's around technical due diligence of buildings. So we do see people using this in this use case. If it's that, then it's a yes.
Can we export the model from Metaroom to 3ds Max? Can we import Luminar information from DIALux to 3ds Max? What are the exports formats available from Metaroom? So out of our perspective, we do have, I think it is 25 or 27 export formats at the moment.
Yes.
What you will find is different versions of IFCs, because we have to adapt to every I would say software we are working with. This is why you find a known DIALux IFC in our export models. And on the other hand, you will find a lot of other export IFCs which might be able to be imported in 3ds Max. So please give it a try. If you have any further questions, just get back to me and I try to help as fast as possible. Any chance to have whatsoever external video recording or equipment for getting the model without iPhone Pro maybe in the future? I mean, out of my feelings, I would say no, because this is basically what we wanted to achieve, to have that out of the pocket solution with something you use anyways. I mean, in this case, it is your iPhone Pro model in this case, which you have with you all the time anyways. Either if it's to use it as a cell phone, to write emails, to whatever you do, and having your scanner with you all the time. Because there are other solutions out there having their own devices, which cost a fortune, I would say. I mean, they do a good job, don't get me wrong here. But yeah, I mean, you are the boss, basically.
Yeah, actually, we say here that if it's not on the phone, it doesn't fly. And that's what we believe here, and also our company strategy and the DNA is that we build applications that run on consumer hardware. There are other good companies that are doing industry equipment, and I think they are doing a good job in their segment. And we are focusing on our strategy, and this will not change in the near future, as least as I can see it.
Exactly. Next one. How about detection of industry objects like pipes, cable traces, valves, ventilation pumps, etc., in plant rooms or technical rooms?
Oh, all of this is possible. So if you use the Metaroom platform, we have seen it in the web browser before. You can use this box and surface tool with the Magic Pen to add all of these technical building equipment stuff to your scan. So it's not recognized automatically during the scan, but you can augment and enhance it later in the Metaroom web app.
It's exactly the same way as we recreated those luminaires. It would be the same way to go for pipes and cable traces on top of that. Again, if you want to see it a bit more in action, feel free to drop me a line. I would be happy to show it to you in detail.
Maybe a quick one here. So everyone, even if you have no iPhone right now, you can create an account on studio.mrexai. That's for free. And you can log in and you see a demo scene there. And then you can play around with exactly all the features we've shown you without doing anything. Just right away to play around what's possible, to get a feeling of the solution, to reconstruct pipes and things like this.
Yeah, and as I said before, we are pretty transparent when it comes to prices and at what time you have to pay. There is no paywall until you really decide I want to pay for it. So feel free to try everything to the max. For larger projects, do you have to export several IFC files and calculate individual areas separately in DIALux? What is the maximum area for which a scan can be performed?
So typically we say that you should do one floor. So this floor here has around about 500 square meters. So that's quite okayish. If it goes up to 1,000 square meters in a scan, or 1,500, you should close the scan. And then you should add a second scan process to do it and rebuild this in a third-party software. So I would say 1,000 square meters is pretty much the maximum I would suggest to do in one scan process, or in one basically IFC file. We are working on a merge function to merge different scans together after you close them already. But this is not popping up very soon, I would say. Probably maybe during first or second quarter next year.
So Party people, we are a bit over time already, so we're gonna have to close it down for now. We, as I said before, we do see all your questions. We're gonna answer them one by one and send you a file, or we're gonna send Ariane a file afterwards, and she might be the one to send it to you guys afterwards, if this is okay for you, Ariane. Since there's a lot of questions left, which are really good questions. So again, from our side, thank you so much for attending the meeting. Feel free to get in contact with us. Either use the website on mrex.ai, where you can subscribe for newsletters, where you find our direct contacts to get in contact with us. Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah, for everyone, time is limited, so thank you for spending your valuable time during the week here with us. Ariane, thanks to you, to Lüdenscheid. All the best. We wish you all of success in the next time, and maybe give us a try, huh?
Yeah, thank you too. I think it was very interesting, so also for me, and I hope everybody enjoyed this webinar. And I wish you all the best. Have a nice day, and then we can go forward with DIALux and Metaroom.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.